Hello crafty friends, and welcome to another video all about getting glitter out of our stashes and onto our cards. So yesterday we looked at 20 ways to add glitter using wet glue. Today we're going to look at using double-sided adhesive. I've got a whole selection of double-sided adhesives. I've got tape, I've got foam, I've got foam tape, I've got foam dots, and I've got a variety of different sheets of double-sided adhesive. So our first technique is to create some DIY glitter cardstock. Take some card, stick some double-sided adhesive sheet to it, peel off the release paper and sprinkle over your glitter. You can do one colour of glitter or more than one. If you peel off the release paper a little bit at a time, you can create different colour stripes of glitter. But once you've covered your double-sided adhesive in glitter, shake off the excess glitter and give it a really good burnish. I like to use some leftover release paper from my double-sided adhesive and just rub it over quite vigorously, and that pushes the glitter down into the double-sided adhesive and stops it rubbing off, because nobody likes glitter that rubs off. Our second technique is to die cut from just double-sided adhesive. So I've got some stick it sheet here. I die cut some cogs from it, peeled off the release paper and stuck my cogs on a bit of card. Then I peeled off the other release paper to expose the adhesive, sprinkled over some glitter, gave it a good burnish, and I ended up with some lovely sparkly cogs. Now I find this stick it is quite a thin double-sided adhesive, so it's quite delicate. You can easily accidentally damage the shape that you're trying to create. So a couple of my cogs have got nicks out of them. If I wanted perfect die cut sticky shapes, then I'd probably not use the stick it. I would use my Sticks 2 or the Elizabeth Crafts, which is a bit more robust. If you want more dimension to your glittery die cuts, then put double-sided tape on some card and die cut from that. You can put the double-sided on both sides of the card, so you can peel the release paper off the bottom, stick your die cuts to your card, peel the release paper off the top, sprinkle over and burnish your glitter, and that way you get dimensional glittery die cuts. Of course, if you've made your own DIY glitter cardstock, you can die cut from that. As well as all that, you can die cut from double-sided adhesive foam. So I've die cut this heart from 2mm deep foam. You can also add glitter to foam tape. You can also add glitter to foam dots or squares or hexagons or whatever shape your little foam adhesive things are. Take the release paper off, sprinkle over glitter, burnish it with something non-stick like release paper, and you've got some dimensional glittery shapes. In a similar fashion to the foam tape, you can just use double-sided tape strips. These come in rolls of all sorts of widths, so here I've stuck down all my double-sided tapes diagonally across a bit of card. I've given them a really good press down to make sure that double-sided adhesive is in full contact with the card, and then one at a time I peeled off the release paper and sprinkled on a different colour of glitter. So I sprinkled on the glitter, shook it off, burnished it, brushed off any excess glitter, and then peeled the release paper off the next strip and added a different colour, and just repeated the process up the piece of card until I'd covered all the strips that I stuck down. This is so quick, so easy, and that glitter is going nowhere. Right, we're on to technique number 9, and that is to use release paper as masks or stencils. I have got a video all about this that shows you a bit more detail, but all I did was stuck some double-sided adhesive to a piece of cardstock. I cut some hearts from some release paper, spare release paper. I then stuck these onto the double-sided adhesive that was on my card, pressed them down with a bit of release paper to make sure they were really firmly stuck, and then I sprinkled over some white iridescent glitter. I burnished that again with release paper to press that glitter well into the adhesive, and then using tweezers I took the release paper hearts off the sticky and then poured pink glitter over the whole panel. The pink glitter, for the most part, only stuck in the hearts. It didn't stick where the white glitter already was. This technique gives some really gorgeous results, but as I say, do check out that other video if you want to know more. Technique number 10 is all about creating a stained glass window effect. So I placed a piece of double-sided adhesive sheet onto some white cardstock. I then added a black outline die cut, and I also used that die to die cut some shapes from release paper. I then inserted release paper into the bits of the black die cut that I didn't want to get any glitter on, leaving some glitter exposed. So first off, I coloured the flowers. I sprinkled on some gold and some copper glitter. Then I pulled the release paper out of the leaf shapes and sprinkled on some pink. Then I pulled the release paper off the background area and sprinkled on some blue. Once I'd shaken off the excess glitter, I gave it a really good burnish with some spare release paper. And now I've got a black outline image with all the areas filled in with different colours of glitter. It looks a bit like stained glass. You can do exactly the same thing on acetate. Put some double-sided sheet on a piece of acetate. Add an outline die cut. It doesn't have to be black, but that's kind of the stained glass look. Use that die to die cut out some release paper pieces. Use them to mask off different areas inside the die cut and sprinkle on your different glitters. Burnish it and Bob's your uncle. You've got a stained glass window effect. And this one is actually translucent because of the acetate. So you could put this in an aperture in a card so you can see the glitter from the front and the back at the same time. You can do something similar with packing tape. So I put some clear packing tape, sticky side up, on a piece of card, and I just did that so it was easier to handle. I then added a black die cut and then shook over some different colour glitters. I didn't use release paper masks in this because I just wanted to do something slightly different. You could leave it like this, but I did add another layer of clear packing tape over the top to kind of seal it all in. And again, you've got a translucent stained glass glittery window. And for our final technique today, I used some clear packing tape, which I know isn't technically double-sided adhesive, but it's still tape. I used some of the clear packing tape to back an aperture that I'd cut into a card panel. So the sticky side of the tape is exposed through the holes of the aperture. You can then sprinkle over one colour of glitter, 2 colours, 3 colours, whatever you like, and then you get a lovely glittery backed aperture. You could do this with double-sided adhesive or double-sided tape and then peel the release paper off the back and use that to stick the panel to the front of a card. But there you go, a lovely sparkly holy card. Right, that's another 12 techniques for using glitter on cards. Don't forget there are 2 more videos in this series, so if you'd like to see those, do subscribe and ring the notification bell. Do let me know in the comments too if you've got any other glittery ideas. I'd love to hear them. Right, thanks for watching and I'll see you back here very soon. Bye for now.